In this video, I would like to look at the eternality of Jesus Christ and his divinity. First of all, he is eternal. In Exodus 3:14, the Lord said, I am that which I am. Ehyeh asher ehyeh. And it is interesting that Jesus used this same title for himself when he said, before Abraham was, I am. Also in John 1, we're told in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was face to face with God, and the Word was God, showing the eternality of Christ. He was always there from the very beginning. Furthermore, in Psalm 45, it reads, Your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of your kingdom is the right scepter. It's interesting that in Psalm 102, these two passages are put together in the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, where it reads, You are, and you will endure. Everything else will wax old like a garment, and as a vesture you shall change them, and they shall be changed. But you are, and your years fail not. We're looking at these verses in the Hebrew Bible that are applied over the board to Christ in Hebrews 1. Both applied to him, showing his eternality. He furthermore is the way, the truth, and the life, and only one who is divine could claim to be the way, the truth, and the life. He is also sovereign over everything. In Colossians 1, it speaking of Christ, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn or sovereign of every creature. For by him were all things created, and all things not only were created by him, but for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things stand together. A great Christological text is Colossians chapter 1. Furthermore, he is omnipotent. He said, All power is given to me in heaven and upon earth. Jesus makes those claims in Matthew 28. And so we're looking at his all power, at his omnipotence. And he is the source of all things. All things came to be through him. So he's clearly omnipotent. He is omniscient, all-knowing. He saw Nathanael under the fig tree. Jesus knows what is in every heart. He heals a nobleman's son at a distance and knows that he is healed. We find this in the Gospel of John, chapter 4. We find Nathanael in John 1. So Jesus is omniscient. He knew all of that from a distance. Furthermore, he's omnipresent. He says, where two or three are gathered together, there am I in the midst. Wherever two or three are gathered together in his name, he is there. In rabbinic literature, it says where two or three were studying the Torah, the Shekhinah, the glory of God, joined them there. So Christ joins where two or three are gathered together, studying the Word of God. He is also full of grace and truth. These two twin themes are applied to Yahweh. In Psalm 117, we're told that the Lord is merciful and kindness, his merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endures forever. So what is spoken of Yahweh is also applied to Christ. In John 1, because Christ is full of grace and truth, verse 17, he He is also worthy of all praise and honor and worship. He is the co-creator with God, and therefore he is worthy of all worship. We find this in Hebrews chapter 1, verse 10. And you, O Lord, in the beginning, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the works of your hands. They shall perish, but you remain. They shall wax old as a garment, but you are, and your years fail not. And Thomas, after he saw the resurrected Jesus, cried out and said, My Lord and my God. So as we look through all of the scriptures, Jesus has the same attributes of God the Father: omniscience, omnipotence, all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipresent, all-present. So it is no wonder that in Revelation chapter 5, he is worthy of all worship. We hear a song, a new song, in verse 9, and it says, God, by your blood, has redeemed, speaking of Christ, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and you have made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth forever. Jesus, then, is worthy of all worship. And so let us bow down and worship Jesus as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords.